My ex-wife left me for my best friend, and when I confronted her, he grabbed me by the neck. So I did what I had to do. I'm a 47-year-old man, and my ex-wife, who's 48, walked out on our 20-year marriage a year and a half ago. She left me for a man who happened to be married to her high school best friend. Some friend she turned out to be. I thought we had 2 children together, a family worth fighting for. Not long ago, I learned that my 6-year-old daughter isn't biologically mine. She belongs to him. And the worst part? My ex knew it from the moment she got pregnant. She never told me. My name's on the birth certificate, and I plan to fight for custody. That little girl has been my daughter in every way that matters. And that document gives me a legal right to stand by her. She may not share my blood, but she's my daughter. No question. It's clear this affair had been going on for a long time. Finding out shattered me. When I asked her to choose him or me, she said him. Why? Because he can perform again right after sex. That was her only reason. Sex. Never mind that I worked 2 jobs to put her through school. That I kept working so she could stay home with our kids while she betrayed me behind my back. I let go of my dreams. Gave up my shot at a music career, just so she could chase hers and build a life for our family. They were everything to me. She's always been cold, emotionally distant. She's bipolar. And life with her was never easy. Her outbursts, the emotional and physical abuse, it broke me. But I stayed. I believed she couldn't help it. That it was the illness talking. But that wasn't the full truth. She told her friends that sometimes she hit me simply because she felt like it or didn't get her way. My kids saw her strike me, scream at me. Every time, I took it. I stood there, swallowing the pain, ashamed that my children had to witness any of it. Near the end, she lost it because I didn't take the trash out the second I walked in the door. She grabbed me by the neck and started to squeeze. Our son stood there, frozen in shock. I told her he would never forget that moment. And she let go. I should have walked away a long time ago. I see that now. I like to think I would have, if it weren't for the kids. I didn't want to break up the family. I clung to the hope that the woman I married might come back to me someday. But those days were already dead. Had been for years. When the truth came out, my wife sat down with the friend whose husband she had been sleeping with. She looked her in the eye and admitted everything. Yes, it's true. No, I'm not sorry. Then she stood up and walked away. Her friend told me that. My wife packed up, took the kids, and moved in with him just behind the apartment we used to share. And still, I waited. I hoped she'd realize the grass wasn't greener. She knew he had cheated on his own wife, not just with her, but with others too. I waited that whole first year, hoping she'd come back. She kept the apartment keys, and I assumed she was holding on to them because deep down she knew she would come home. But by the end of that year, their cruelty started up again. He began showing up at the bus stop while I was dropping the kids off for school, looking me in the eye and saying, "I've come to see my daughter off." "Not your daughter. Mine." I asked him, "Then why were you so content for 5 years to let me raise her? Why let her carry my last name? Why let me be there at her birth and raise her as if she were mine? Where were you then? Why is my name on the certificate and not yours?" That nearly earned me a punch to the face. What it did earn me was a drunken visit from both of them later that night. He showed up ready to fight. After that, my ex decided to make everything public. She went on Facebook, proudly showing off her new boyfriend. Our friends were stunned. Some reached out to me, others to his wife. I made sure to take every screenshot I could. She seemed completely indifferent to the damage she was doing, even with our divorce approaching. Then again, why would she care? I had already hit her with a paternity test. By the end of all of it, I was self-destructive. I kept asking myself what I could have done differently, what I could have done better. She blamed me for not being there, but if I hadn't worked 2 jobs, how would we have survived? I didn't clean when I got home because I was exhausted. Still, she yelled at me about the trash while our kids, under her watch, had drawn all over the walls, torn down blinds, and punched holes in the drywall. But not taking out the trash after working 16 hours straight, that was the problem. The worst part was that I missed my family so much. I actually started believing it was all my fault. It took time to see things clearly. What changed everything was my brother. He was set on getting me to play in his band. I kept saying no, but he insisted I at least meet the other guys and decide afterward. That moment shifted everything for me. I still declined the offer, but I connected with the group. Eventually, I started casually dating a woman a friend of the rhythm guitarist had introduced me to. I fell for her quickly. She was 45, kind, and being with her felt like finally breathing after years of suffocating. There was no screaming, no violence, just peace and affection. It was the first time in years I felt like I could breathe. But through all of this, my ex still had the keys to the apartment. She would occasionally let herself in to drop off things for the kids. The first time she came in and saw my new girlfriend there, things went south fast. That night she called, demanding to know who the woman was and why she was in our apartment. I told her the truth, that it was none of her business. She had moved on, left me, and was living with someone else. She had no say anymore. But in the months since, my ex has become increasingly erratic. Obsessed, even. She started stalking my girlfriend. My ex sent my girlfriend a Facebook friend request and demanded that she accept it. When my girlfriend refused, my ex called me in a screaming rage, insisting that I tell her to accept the request. She said she needed to see what kind of person I was bringing around our kids. My girlfriend calmly took the phone from me and told her that she didn't owe her anything. Any communication regarding the kids could be done through messages or phone calls. My ex had no right to access our personal lives, no right to see our friends or family. She wasn't part of my girlfriend's life and never would be. My ex didn't take that well. A wave of friend requests suddenly flooded my girlfriend's account, all from people connected to my ex. Not long after, my ex began letting herself into my apartment every weekend. Always when I was working. She would snoop around while I was gone. One day, I was on the phone with my girlfriend while she was home alone, and I heard my ex walk in. My girlfriend asked her if she needed something. My ex said she just wanted to check how much milk was in the fridge for when the kids came over. My girlfriend told her everything was under control. And my ex left. When I got home, I confronted her and demanded she return the apartment key. She didn't live there anymore. Instead of respecting that, she took my son's keys and made copies for herself. When my lease ended, my girlfriend asked me to move in with her so we could put some distance between us and my ex. My ex did everything in her power to make that difficult. She even called the police and accused me of taking her belongings. But when the officers asked what items were hers, she couldn't name a single thing in the apartment. Now, we have the kids every other weekend. My children told me their mother doesn't let them talk about what they do with me. She said she didn't want to hear it. That didn't last long. Now she digs for every detail she can. She questions them about everything. I know it's jealousy. We live by the beach. My girlfriend is very well off. When we have the kids, we take them to the boardwalk, let them play on the sand, ride the rides, or visit the aquarium. If they come home with prizes, my ex throws them out. Lately, every time she drops the kids off, I've noticed something strange. She started dressing and styling herself just like my girlfriend. She dyed her hair and cut it just like my girlfriend's. Every time we do something with the kids, my ex rushes to replicate it the following week. If we go to the beach, she takes them to the beach. If we take them to the zoo, she suddenly has to go to the zoo too. She even finds out what we had for dinner and cooks the same meal, then demands the kids tell her whose version they liked more. Last week, my son asked if he could live with us. He said his mom was acting crazy. You better believe I'm bringing all of this to court. And just when I thought things couldn't get any weirder, the other night, she started texting me bears. Yeah, bears. I had no idea what was going on. My girlfriend was sitting right next to me when the messages started coming in. I got defensive immediately and told her I didn't ask for any of that and I wasn't talking to my ex like that. I handed her my phone so she could see for herself. She looked at the pictures, then turned to me and asked for my ex's number. She said she wanted to send her some bears back, just to show her how it's really done. I called my ex and asked her what the hell she was doing. I told her my girlfriend saw the messages and was pissed. My ex tried to claim they were meant for someone else. My girlfriend pointed out that my name was on one end of the alphabet and her boyfriend's would have been on the other. Then she asked who this someone else even was. My ex hung up. I honestly don't know what kind of game she's playing anymore. The whole thing is insane. Let me clear up a few things, since people keep assuming I'm still living with her. 1. My girlfriend didn't actually send her any bears in return. That was just her sarcastic response, saying she should send some to show her how it's really done. The pictures my ex sent were of her with her shirt off, making duck faces in the mirror, phone in hand. My girlfriend made a joke about her lack of creativity. 2. I no longer live in the apartment I once shared with my wife. I moved in with my girlfriend. Even after I got my key back, my ex stole a copy from my son and kept breaking in. She has no access to our new place, and for good reason. Even my kids don't have keys. 3. I'm currently fighting for custody. It's not easy, especially since I'm not my daughter's biological father. But my name is on her birth certificate, and that gives me parental rights. I'm not backing down. 4. My ex was prescribed medication, but I'm seriously starting to doubt whether she's taking it. 5. I always check my kids for bruises, for any signs of abuse. But she finally messed up. She got physical with her boyfriend, and he punched a hole in the wall and told her if she ever raised a fist at him again, he'd fight back. Update 1. This past weekend was my daughter's official 6th birthday. It wasn't my weekend to have the kids, so I was surprised when my ex asked if I wanted to take them. Of course I said yes. She even gave me an extra 2 days. I assumed they had something planned and just wanted to pawn the kids off. But the thing that really stood out to me, this was the first birthday he could have celebrated with her, and instead, she handed her over to me and my girlfriend. Anyone else think that's a little messed up? Update 2. Saturday night, I got a text from my ex, angry, of course. She told me she hopes I'm ing happy that I won. I knew I shouldn't have responded, but I asked what her problem was. Her reply was pure nonsense, followed by, go ahead and gloat. Gloat times 10. She accused me of being involved in something, though she wouldn't say what. Instead, she launched into a rant about how all men are pigs and can't be trusted. From that, I gathered 2 things. 1. She was drunk. 2. The guy she left me for cheated on her. I didn't respond. When she gets like that, anything I say just turns into a fight. I just read the text and shook my head. She got exactly what she signed up for. She left me for someone who was already married and had cheated on his wife 3 times. She was number 3. When I pointed that out during the breakup, she said, I know what I'm getting into. I guess she really believed she was the one who could change him, that somehow she was the exception. When she ran out of insults to throw at me, she turned her aim at my girlfriend, called her ugly as hell, said I could have had anyone, but I settled for someone ugly to replace her. The truth? Even changing her hair to match. It's obsessive. She kept going, telling me I couldn't possibly love my girlfriend, that it's impossible to fall for the first woman I slept with after losing her. Which is laughable, because we'd been broken up for a year before I even met my girlfriend. It took me a long time to trust again. That trust wasn't handed out freely, it was earned. My girlfriend showed up for me in ways my ex never did. But of course, my ex had to throw one more dig, saying I only love my girlfriend because I lost my apartment. And I'm just sucking up to her for a place to live. According to her, it's only love when you're homeless. Let's be real. I had my own apartment. It was right across the street from my ex. Her choice, by the way, because she wanted to rub in my face that she left me for my friend. Every day, when my lease ended, I didn't lose anything. I chose to move in with my girlfriend, and I relocated my job to build a new life with her. I knew my ex was trying to start a fight. I just wasn't biting. But then she hit me with one last line. I'm sorry I wasn't enough for you. And man, I wanted to scream. I wasn't enough for you. Did you forget who walked out the door? Who ran into the arms of someone else before the door even closed behind them? You left me for a married man, a serial cheater. That was your choice. And now? She's back to her same old script, telling me that deep down, we both know she's the one I really want to be with. She claimed my girlfriend couldn't compete with her, that she didn't even come close. That was the final straw for me. I told her to reach out when she was sober and in a better headspace. Then I turned off my phone. Hours later, when my girlfriend got home, she noticed something was bothering me and asked what was wrong. I warned her that she might get mad, then handed her my phone and told her to read it herself. She scrolled through the messages, laughed it off, handed the phone back, and said it looked like the guy had cheated. I agreed and tried to reassure her, thinking the insults might have made her question things. But she wasn't fazed in the slightest. She said my ex always shows her narcissistic side in full force when she's drunk, and guessed she was angry because she couldn't use me for a revenge move. I haven't heard anything from her since. My guess is she looked back at the messages the next day and realized how ridiculous she sounded. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's back with him already. Because being alone isn't something she can handle. 20 years of her emotional abuse left a deep impact that I'm still working through. No matter what I did, I was always wrong. Even when I was right, I was wrong for challenging her or making her feel like she wasn't in control. Looking back, I see that for what it was, a narcissistic guilt trip. A lot of it became so ingrained that I didn't even realize I was walking on eggshells. When my phone buzzes, I still instinctively say who it is and show the screen. A habit I picked up just to avoid fights and accusations. I know I don't have to do that anymore, but it's not easy letting go of that pattern. When I do it now, my girlfriend doesn't even bother to look. She just says I'm doing it again. And the strange part is, when she doesn't check, I feel like the lack of confirmation might come back to bite me later. I know it won't, but that fear is hard to shake. There's a lot of emotional baggage I'm trying to unpack. I know I'll get there eventually, but that's the real challenge. Isn't it? Recovering from all of it. Not just the betrayal, but unlearning the control and conditioning that shaped how I acted. Just when you think you've moved on, you start a new relationship. And all those old patterns come flooding back. You catch yourself doing the same things you did before, trying not to rock the boat instead of just being yourself. Healing from that is a long, hard road. Update 3. Since my last update, my ex got cheated on by the guy she left me for. As expected, they were back together within 3 days. I saw that coming. She has no one else to turn to. And now she's stuck with him. Since that last incident, I haven't really heard from her aside from signing some divorce paperwork and the occasional message about the kids. I'm grateful for the silence, but I know it won't last. Eventually, she'll get drunk again and send another late-night rant blaming me for everything. This past Halloween, my band was invited to perform at an event my friend organizes every year. It's a tradition we've kept going for a while. My ex used to come with me, but she didn't last year. That was the year I discovered she'd been sleeping with my best friend, and that my now 6-year-old daughter was actually his. She wasn't invited this year either. But she showed up anyway, dragging along her boyfriend and my kids. I was livid. These parties are adults only, and she knows that. I honestly believe she brought the kids just to stir up trouble and try to get me kicked out. Security kept telling her she couldn't enter, but she stood there arguing, saying the kids wanted to see their father perform. I had security asking me to remove them, while she was shouting that I cared more about a party than my own children. My friend, the one hosting the party, came down and told her she could stay just long enough to watch me perform 2 songs, but then she had to leave or he'd call the police. I told him not to give in to her, but he said he was doing it for the kids. I was on stage and completely unaware of what was going on around the party. It wasn't until I stepped off between sets that I started to piece things together. I found out my ex had tried to stir up drama with my girlfriend, and it didn't go well for her. My girlfriend shut her down and called her out for dragging the kids into her games. A lot of people saw it happen, and when I came off stage, several pointed me in their direction. By the time I got there, whatever argument had happened was already over, but my ex was shooting daggers at my girlfriend from across the room. Then my daughter embarrassed her even more by loudly announcing to everyone that she had 2 dads, me and her mom's boyfriend, who was actually her biological father. That clearly hit a nerve. My ex snapped back with a sarcastic comment about being made to look like trash, then stormed out. But my son didn't want to leave with her and insisted on staying with me. Her boyfriend ended up approaching my girlfriend to ask if we could keep my son for the night. She agreed and arranged it with my friend to keep him close for the rest of the evening. We took him home the next day. My nerves were wrecked. I must have apologized 100 times to my friend, my girlfriend, and my son for dragging them into that mess. I couldn't focus on any of the songs. I kept scanning the crowd, worried something might break out. I didn't even realize until later that she had left without her son. When I brought him back the following night, she made sure not to be there. Her boyfriend told me she knew I was coming and didn't want to face me after everything that had happened. He apologized and tried to talk about how she's been behaving lately. I just told him I wasn't going there and walked away. I got a call later that night from my son telling me they were fighting badly, and it was all about me. Her boyfriend had finally had enough of the crap she's been pulling and accused her of still being hung up on me. According to my son, he asked her what really bothered her more. Was it that I moved on and she couldn't crawl back to me, or that if she hadn't left me when she did, I would have ended up leaving her for my girlfriend? That question apparently set everything off. I could hear them yelling in the background and asked my son if he needed me to come get him. He told me no. I stayed on the phone with him until things settled down. So that's where things are with me right now. Still going through the divorce. Still moving forward. I don't look back at what I lost anymore. I just need to get my kids out of there. And yes, I'm still fighting for that. Update 4. My 6-year-old daughter wouldn't stop talking about her elf at my soon-to-be ex-wife's house, so my girlfriend got one for our place and set it up. Thinking she'd be excited to see the elf, had sent a friend to keep an eye on her here too. But her reaction was alarming, to say the least. The moment she laid eyes on the elf, she lost it. She started screaming at it, saying it needed to leave, or she was going to tell Santa it was bad, and told lies. She threw a tantrum like I've never seen, yelling at the top of her lungs for it to go, or she was going to snitch. My girlfriend tried to calm her down, telling her the elf doesn't lie. If she's good, it'll tell Santa she's good. And if she's bad, it'll say that too. He's not going to lie, so all she has to do is behave. My daughter bared her teeth and gave my girlfriend a look that could kill, and growled, "He's going to tell on me." What the hell? My mind was racing in that moment. Why is she afraid of this one and not the one at her mother's house? How many lies is she screaming over there that my ex is just ignoring? And what else is she turning a blind eye to? I already knew my daughter has had issues with lying. She makes up stories, like saying her brother hit her when he's nowhere near her, and we've been working hard to stop that behavior. I brought it up to my soon-to-be ex-wife, and her only response was that she's aware of it and handling it. But today, when I drop my kids off, I plan to confront her about the elf incident. Because something about this whole thing feels off. I don't think I'm overreacting by feeling like there's something seriously wrong going on over there. I want to get my daughter into therapy, because it's becoming clear there's a lot happening that I don't know about. There's something wrong in that house. That much is obvious. Edit. I already know she's treated like a princess at her mom's place, especially with her biological father around. She can do no wrong over there. And I also know he gives my son hell, just because he's mine. My girlfriend and I sat the kids down today and had a talk about all of this. We asked my son if his sister acts the same way over there, lying and trying to get everyone in trouble. He said not as much, which left us wondering why it's so much worse at our house. We asked my daughter why she lies about her brother. She got defensive and claimed he hits her. Said he just did. When we asked when, she said a minute ago. He wasn't even inside the house. He was out taking the trash, hadn't been near her all day. He's been avoiding her because of the lies. When we pointed out that she was lying, she got angry and raised her fist to my girlfriend and threatened her. I took away her TV and video games, and when I asked her why she misbehaves and refuses to be good, she looked me dead in the eyes and growled, "Because I don't want to." So now I know. I've got to step up the discipline. I'm not letting this go any further. Update 5. Turns out, my daughter's freak out over the elf on the shelf opened the floodgates to way bigger issues. I started digging into why she reacted the way she did, and that led me straight down a rabbit hole of problems I didn't even realize were there. To recap, over the weekend, my girlfriend and I got her an elf on the shelf because she kept talking about how much she loved the one at my cheating, soon-to-be ex-wife's house. The moment she saw the elf, my daughter lost it, screaming that it had to leave because it was going to tell Santa on her. That raised a serious question. Why is the elf at her mother's house fine, but this one is a problem? I asked her, but got no answers. That night, we went to dinner with my girlfriend's ex-stepmother. My girlfriend's father had cheated, and she chose to stay close with his ex-wife after the divorce, siding with the woman he betrayed. That decision speaks volumes about her character, and it goes a long way in restoring the trust that my soon-to-be ex-wife destroyed. During dinner, her stepmother briefly mentioned a past abuse my girlfriend had suffered at the hands of her stepfather on her mother's side. My son visibly reacted to that comment, but stayed silent. On the drive back home, though, he couldn't hold it in anymore. He opened the floodgates, and what he told me completely blindsided me. Turns out, the ex-wife of my soon-to-be ex's boyfriend has been taking revenge, relentlessly. She's furious about the affair that wrecked her marriage, and is doing everything she can to make their lives miserable. No boundaries. No limits. She's even using her children to target my son, just because he's the son of the woman who took her husband. Those kids think it's funny to bully him, and they've been teaching their half-sister, my daughter, to join in. When I asked my daughter about it, she just said it was a game. When I explained it wasn't fair to her brother, that it was cruel and not a game, she broke down crying, saying I never let her have any fun. Then came the tantrum. I told her it stops now. She rolled her eyes and said, "But I don't want to. It's fun." What the hell? I made it clear, if it continues, she loses everything. No TV, no toys, no video games, nothing. When I dropped my kids off, I asked my ex what the hell was going on and confronted her with everything I'd been told. She admitted that the OBS has been doing everything in her power to make their lives miserable. She knows their schedules for their side jobs and has been deliberately sabotaging them, which has started to hit them financially. She told me Christmas was going to be rough for them because of it. I brought up the fact that his kids are being coached to abuse our son, and that they're teaching our daughter to do the same. Her response? There's only so much I can do. She said she can't watch them all the time. I told her that if she's aware of it, then she needs to do something, because the crap happening over there is spilling into my home. And I'm not tolerating it anymore. But I already know she's not doing a damn thing. None of the kids are being disciplined. My daughter comes to my house thinking she can act out and still get away with it. She's just now learning that actions have consequences. Learning, which I have to reteach her every other weekend, because I don't have her often enough to drive the lesson home. So every visit, it's back to square one. And now, it makes perfect sense why she's afraid of my elf, but not the one at her mother's. Because nothing's being done. So now I've got a whole new problem. The OBS is making life hell for all of us. And yeah, I'm bringing this to court. My kids are being abused, targeted, by the AP's kids, and it's all a domino effect from the affair. You better believe I'm bringing this up. Edit. I'm going for custody of both my kids. Not that I wasn't already, but now I've got more to stand on. Now I know what's really going on in that house. It even explains the elf. My daughter doesn't fear the one over there because there are no consequences. She's allowed to act out without anyone doing a damn thing about it. But she feared the elf at my house because she knows I don't let that behavior slide. I've long suspected my ex wasn't doing anything about the kid's behavior on her end. This just confirms it. The way my daughter reacted, what my son told me, and what my ex admitted herself. There's only so much I can do. No, you can do something. She just won't. So now it's up to me. I'm using this in court. Update 6. It was today that it officially ended. We sat on the Zoom court call and ended it all. I went through it in a haze. I'd pictured this day a million times over the past year, and now here it was. It was actually happening. It took 5 minutes to dissolve everything. Just 5. Neither of us contested it. She wasn't asking for anything, not that she could. The paternity tests made everything clear. A couple of quick questions, most of which weren't even directed at me. I was asked if there was any chance of saving the marriage. No. I was asked if I wanted to proceed with the divorce today. Yes. What caught my attention was how they asked her if there were any domestic issues or abuse, and she said no. They didn't ask me at all. That stood out. I got hit plenty. It wasn't even up for discussion. I guess in the end it didn't matter, because the outcome would have been the same. It's over. All that remains now is family court for custody. And with everything that's come to light, things are leaning more and more in my favor. She waited exactly 5 minutes after court ended to post about it on Facebook. I know this because my phone lit up with screenshots from friends. She wrote some line about how divorce is hard, but it's important to set a good example for our kids. She even tagged me, which was her mistake. My friends were quick to respond, telling her that if she really cared about setting an example, maybe she shouldn't be running to social media for attention and likes the moment the ink dried. I guess I can't say too much, though. I'm here telling this to a bunch of strangers. But I waited hours, and none of you know me personally. It's over, and I honestly don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Right now, I just feel blank. Update 7. It's been a while since I've said anything, and I appreciate everyone who's reached out. I've just been in a mood with everything that's going on and haven't felt up to posting. My divorce was finalized last month, so that's one obstacle down. For the most part, it was a good Christmas, aside from my ex losing her job. The AP she moved in with isn't making enough to cover their bills, so of course, she came to me for help with the kids. She waited until 3 days before Christmas to say anything. I wanted to tell her to kick rocks. My girlfriend and I scrambled to find decent gifts with the stores already picked clean. Before anyone says I should have done nothing and let my kid see her for who she really is, I wanted to. I almost did. But I couldn't do that to my kids on Christmas. I told her this was a one-time thing. I won't help her again. When she came to pick up the presents, she asked to come inside to see where the kids sleep. I told her that wasn't a good idea. She snapped back that it wasn't a request, it was her right, and tried stepping around me. That's when my girlfriend was suddenly in her face, telling her she's not stepping foot in this house. If she's got a problem, she can make some calls. But she, my ex, will never be allowed in her house. My ex backed down. I spent the rest of the night calming my girlfriend down from wanting to tear her face off. The best way to put it, my girlfriend has my ex completely locked down. My ex tries. She fails. Then she screams to anyone who'll listen about how unfair it is that she's cut out when the kids are with me. But our life isn't her business. It doesn't involve her. And my girlfriend has made that crystal clear. My ex has no place in it. Maybe I'm an idiot for this, but I let my girlfriend take the reins. She's immune to my ex. She calls out the crap faster and firmer than I ever could. My ex still tries to challenge and manipulate me, but my girlfriend? She's an unmovable rock. My ex hasn't tried playing any games since then. I've got the kids in therapy now. Things have escalated. We set up a camera in the living room. It's been catching a lot, mainly my daughter's lies. Footage of her punching my son and then screaming that he hit her. We've confronted her, and she's starting to learn that the lies don't work here. My son's frustrated with how long court is dragging out. He's having a hard time not living with me full time. He's deeply bonded with my girlfriend, which gives me peace of mind. No clashing. No tension between them, just a solid connection. But over at his mother's place, he's spiraling. Screaming, punching walls, arguing. He wants out. I'm doing everything I can to make that happen. And it will happen. Now, onto a new problem. My girlfriend's ex-boyfriend has suddenly started stalking her. Ironically, I found out from another one of her exes, my bandmate. The same guy who introduced me to her. He told the stalker she's happy, she's moved on, and it's time he did too. The guy lost it. Crashed his car into a guardrail in what looked like a self-destructive meltdown. There's so much chaos swirling around me right now, I don't know if I should laugh, cry, or start selling tickets. So yeah, that's the latest. Update 8. D-Day was over 2 years ago. The divorce wrapped up 4 months back. She's still with the AP. I've been moved on for a year now, and truthfully, life's a hell of a lot better without her. But even now, 2 years later, I'm still uncovering things. Just found out there was another friend of mine she slept with before the AP. I wish I could say that one didn't sting, but it did. It widened the window of time that I was a fool. Missed the signs twice. I know my daughter isn't mine. Now I'm starting to wonder if my son is. He doesn't look like me. Doesn't carry any of my features. But not all his features are hers either. And as much as I wonder, I also wonder if I really want to know. I don't think I could take that hit again. Not a second time. Ignorance might be bliss. I'm just trying to leave as much of her behind me as possible. It's hard when kids are involved. Because like it or not, I'm stuck co-parenting until they're 18. I tried to avoid going full gray rock. Thought maybe we could be amicable. I wanted to show the kids we could still come together for their sake. But funny how the guilty ones are always the first to go on the attack. Still trying to shift blame. Even with everything out in the open. Even more interesting how she thought she could still control the narrative, still call all the shots. And when I didn't cave, she lashed out. She even tried her tricks on my girlfriend. That didn't go well for her. Let's just say she learned quickly to steer clear. My girlfriend's been through this kind of crazy before. She's not someone you want to test. And in the end, I know I came out ahead. New life, new job, new home, new love. I'm thriving, while my ex is facing the fallout of her own choices. She didn't just destroy our life together. She wrecked the APs, too. And now his ex-wife is on a scorched earth mission, dragging them both through hell. Financially, emotionally, the whole circus. And yeah, sadly, my kids are caught in the middle. Their lives flipped upside down because of this mess. AP's ex is the textbook definition of hell hath no fury. She's hit them hard financially. My ex has come crying to me, claiming she's broke. Lost her job 6 months ago and still hasn't found another. She's clinging to AP, who's getting drained dry. I don't feel bad. Not for her. I do hate what it's doing to the kids. So I step in where I can for them. And only for them. I won't hand over money. I'll cover what the kids need directly, but I'm not giving her a dime she can turn into drinks. That's who she is. It's part of the reason she got fired in the first place. Yes, I'm fighting for custody. Even for the one who isn't biologically mine. Because they both need to get out of that environment. My son's grown to resent her deeply. Her fault. She's the one who told him why we divorced. He knows his sister is AP's daughter. And he makes sure everyone else knows, too. He told my girlfriend before I even could. I was trying not to dump all my baggage on her. As a newly divorcing father, I already had more than enough baggage. I didn't want to dump all of it on her. But my son is angry. Understandably so. The upside? His bond with my girlfriend is unshakable. She's his best friend, his safe place. My daughter, though, she's her mother through and through. The lying, the manipulation, the outbursts when things don't go her way. She's learned from the best. The cameras we've set up around the house, officially for home security, have been invaluable. She likes to accuse people of being mean or hurting her, especially my son. But the footage doesn't lie. It shows her running up, hitting him, and then screaming that he hit her. We confronted her with the video, and she completely melted down after being caught. Since then, the false accusations have stopped. Now we're catching her sneaking into things. Lying about who gave her permission, playing one side against the other. Same playbook, different page. And here's the thing, the cameras aren't just about catching her lies. They're protection. My ex has tried accusing my girlfriend of abuse before. Screamed child abuse over a bruise my daughter got. The truth? My daughter launched herself off the couch playing floor is lava and didn't stick the landing. So there I was, sending over the footage. Start to finish. The jump, the fall. Us responding in real time. That accusation train didn't last long. After a few of those, my ex finally backed off. No one's hurting the kids, and now, we've got the receipts. It sucks that it had to come to this. But I did what I had to do. The cameras bring me peace of mind. They keep my ex from playing games. And when I'm at work, they let me check in and see my girlfriend at home, reading, gaming, watching movies with my son or her little brother. I know this isn't how it's supposed to be, cameras up, trust stretched thin. Kids caught in the middle. But this is where we are. And all I can do is keep showing up, doing the right thing, and fighting for what's best for them. My son deserves peace. My daughter needs boundaries. And I need to protect the life I'm building now, the one with real love, stability, and no more secrets. 2 years ago, everything imploded. Now, I'm finally starting to feel the ground settle beneath my feet. It's not perfect. It's not easy. But it's mine. And for the first time in a long time, that's enough. If you've made it this far, thank you. If this story hit home, or you just want to follow what comes next, consider subscribing. There's more to come.